Hi, I'm Bob DeLamartre, one of the instructors for Commercial Insurance INS 23. We're going to take a look at some auto physical damage under business auto policies here. Just a little informal discussion of some of the characteristics of the policy in this regard. First of all, let's consider how the different coverages work. Under auto physical damage, under the business auto policy, you have three different types of available coverages. You have collision, comprehensive, or other than collision as it is often called these days, as well as specified causes of loss. Specified causes of loss. A little bit more of a restrictive coverage as compared to comprehensive. Well, let's consider how the coverage would work if you actually hit a bird. Now, a good friend of mine was driving his company car, and it was quite a fancy company car out in South Dakota, back last year one time, and he was driving up alongside of this small pond, and he was going to call on a client for the company out in Millbank, South Dakota, and suddenly two mallard ducks swooped in for a landing on the pond, and unfortunately for one of the poor ducks, the duck smashed right into the windshield of his brand new Cadillac. Well, how is this covered? Well, you'd say, well, he collided with the bird, or the bird collided with him, so obviously it's going to be covered under collision. But would it? You see, how the coverage is triggered depends upon sometimes the choice of the owner of the policy. In this case, since the corporation that he worked for had $500 deductible on collision and $250 deductible on comprehensive, they had their choice to choose to have it covered under their comprehensive coverage rather than under collision. Now, had he gotten into a collision with a farm implement, for instance, out in South Dakota, and the collision resulted in some rumpled fenders as well as a broken windshield, then he could choose to have both covered under his collision coverage, because of the fact that it would be cheaper or more beneficial to the policyholder to have it all under one coverage, you see, because only one deductible would apply. And of course that's far to the benefit of the insured. So, three different coverages: collision, comprehensive, and special causes of loss. Now, under collision, as it says right here in Chapter 10, of our text, collision coverage is coverage for direct and accidental loss to or damage to a covered auto caused by collision with another object or by overturn. Now, overturn, does that mean the vehicle has to actually roll? No, it doesn't. If it just tips over, let's say for instance you're driving a high profile vehicle, a large panel truck out in a windy area, and as you're coming around a turn, maybe a little bit too fast, the wind gust hits you and rolls the truck over on its side. Well, that is considered overturn and would be covered under comprehensive coverage. Now, or not under comprehensive, I should say under collision coverage. My cat, as you can see, is visiting me here right now, and he distracted me just a little bit. Now, what do you think, Henry? Would you have that covered under collision or comprehensive? Henry says definitely under collision because it's overturn, and overturn is obviously a collision type coverage. Well, comprehensive coverage is coverage for direct and accidental loss or damage to a covered vehicle by any peril except for collision, or any peril specifically excluded. So in other words, it covers anything unless it's collision or if it's specifically excluded. Now, specified coverage or specified causes of loss, on the other hand, are, as it sounds, specified causes of loss such as fire, lightning, explosion, theft, windstorm, hail, earthquake, flood, mischief, or vandalism. So you've got quite a string here, and frankly, those are going to cover most anything that a person is going to incur in the way of a loss. But unlike comprehensive, the insured has to prove that it was one of these specified causes of loss that was the cause of the loss, and whereas under comprehensive, the company would have to prove that indeed, in order to deny coverage, they would have to prove indeed that it's something which is specifically excluded. So obviously it's to the insured's benefit, to the policyholder's benefit, to carry comprehensive rather than specified causes of loss, except for the obvious fact that comprehensive is, guess what, more expensive. So those three available coverages under business auto policies for physical damage coverage are collision, comprehensive, and specified causes of loss. And it's very interesting to note, as I mentioned before, that glass breakage, how coverage applies, depends on the circumstances. So that's just a little informal discussion of physical damage coverage under our comprehensive auto insurance on good old commercial insurance INS 23. Thanks very much. I'm Bob DeLamartre.